Hang on.
Kidderminster Harriers fans podcast. Hello, you listen to Wes. It's episode 11, which is really cool. I'm joined tonight by Nick and by Matt as well. And we were supposed to be joined by a mystical guest and also someone else, well, Dan. But Dan's in the bath and we're trying to get Dan to come on, but Dan's having none of it. I don't know why. Maybe he's having too much fun in the bath. So, Matt, there you go. Tonight's episode 11. We're going to talk about friendlies, aren't we, fellas? We kicked off. What was the first one? Droitwich away, was it?
Detroit,
Droitwich
which
away.
way? Yeah.
Now I've seen the pitch and it looked horrendous. And then Murray said it was okay. Now I'm thinking maybe he's just being nice to them because we use their 4G pitch for game preparation and stuff. What do you reckon to that, Matt?
Well, the pitch was as to be expected. There, Hellenic League Prem, so same level as Swifts, but a regional thing. The weather we've had, it was never going to be pristine. I think it was good to be on a pitch like that. It was Nick, you were there as well as I. The ball was sticking at times, but we're not going to come across nice carpet pitches in the league. Um, but in terms of some of the football both teams played was decent on the surface, to be honest with you. I thought it was a good workout. That they were good, tidy side draw, which I thought for the level they're at. That they should have a good season. It was a lovely setup there, to be honest. But bear in mind, I live 10 minutes from Droitwich. I've always been around there playing like Sunday games and stuff. I've never actually been to a Droitwich Spar FC game, so
Yeah.
it was nice. Another one off the list. But yeah, it was just nice to see some football and see the new players and some of the Childish family.
Tries fam. Hey fam. Um, it's so easy to forget that friendlies aren't actually a competitive game and you don't really have to win the match. You don't get anything from it at the end of it. It's all about the exercise, all about getting some minutes in. Isn't that right, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's an interesting one because Adam Murray talks about he seems to want to win the friendlies. He talks about wanting to actually compete and
Yeah.
get results, which you don't often hear. And I guess if that's what his barometer is so far, he might be slightly disappointed on the basis of two defeats and one draw and one win, albeit again two of those defeats have been against much higher opposition. But I think there were lots of positives from the other night. I think Jack Clark looks a real find.
Yeah,
I thought obviously Tunnicliffe was nice and solid. Mooney and Willoughby looked to have decent movement, and it's quite interesting to see how Willoughby played. Really, which is he really is that sort of back to goal striker, which I didn't kind of think he would be. I've obviously not seen enough of him to have known before he joined us what he was about, but looks to be a bit more of a mobile target man, which will be interesting to see how that plays out. In terms of the pitch, it wasn't conducive to a nice style of football, but I thought we persisted and tried to play that style of football against what I thought was a fairly, like Matt said, a really decent Droitwich side. They had a couple of moments. They were obviously without the ball for a fair amount of the game, but their number nine, I think he was centre forward, had a really sort of long range effort out of nowhere that nearly caught the keeper out. They were very aggressive, I thought, and actually kind of represented what a lot of the National League North sides will do to us with maybe that lack of quality, maybe in the final third.
Yeah, it's true. We went from Droitwich. Where do we go next? Where do we play next at Droitwich? I can't remember.
Shrewsbury.
So we've only played two.
And Swansea in a
Yeah,
behind closed
That
doors.
yeah.
don't count, does it really? Or does it? I don't know.
Well, the
Um,
only reason it's behind closed doors is because they don't have like a facility to play that game on. So I guess they didn't want to do it at the proper stadium, so they
yeah.
haven't got the facilities to enable a crowd, which is why that played out. But I believe was it 5-0 in that one? But I think it was a strong Swansea squad. So
When they say
uh,
behind closed doors, I always imagine it's in the gym, like in a leisure centre.
yeah, indoor.
And they're doing five aside. Which is what I think, man. Which is what I think. So Shrewsbury then, yesterday we lost 3-0. And I did read some reports on that. Did anyone go?
No, I didn't go. I kept an eye on Twitter. I've looked on Harriers online and spoke to a couple of B. And so basically, didn't have a lot of the ball, which you'd expect. Hiya, Dan.
Hey Dan.
Um, yeah,
Hey guys.
not a lot of the ball as you'd expect. Dibble was quite busy, I believe. Obviously, difficult when you concede early on, but we apparently second half, Willoughby, Mooney, and Adigan really started to link up and cause a problem. So if they're doing
Yeah.
that to a league team, a couple of leagues above, that really bodes well for us. Then, of course, the wholesale changes came, which Murray said himself disrupted things. it's difficult when you're playing those sort of higher level teams. You can get a lot out of it apart from the result, but I think the fact that they've needed two late goals to beat us 3-0, I think shows that we're a half decent side. We stayed with them for as long as we could. But yeah, I think the front three, which is obviously the big talking point with Hemmings going, and obviously Maz not re-signing, 'cause he's gone to Notts County. That was a big thing over the
Yeah.
summer, a big topic of discussion and a bit of anxiety, I suppose, and how that's looking. But I think the way those three are linking up yesterday, it sounds really promising. And I know it was only, I say this with respect to Droitwich, it was only Droitwich on Tuesday night, but I really was impressed at times with how Mooney and Willoughby linked up as well. Bear in mind, they've obviously been on holiday, they've not played since April, May time. There could really be something there. So we'll have to wait and see.
Uh, Dan, hello, good evening.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late.
That's more clothes than I thought you'd be wearing, to be honest, mate. But
How was the bath?
I'll be honest with you, about 2 minutes ago, it's a lot more clothes than what I was wearing. So
How
we
was the
know how
bath,
baths
mate? Was
work,
it
Dan.
nice?
Yeah, you have to tell us, mate. We know how they work, right? We get that. Dan, so we're talking about friendlies so far, because obviously, because we've got a free hit now with this one.
Yeah.
So thoughts, please, on what we've got so far. Bear in mind, we've only scored one goal in two games, one goal. You'd expect possibly to have scored more.
Um, yeah, I do get where you're coming from, and you could argue there's concern there. But I sort of feel like the teams we have played in the friendlies, I think it's three friendlies technically, if you include the Swansea game as well. They're difficult squads. I mean, Shrewsbury, EFL one last season, they're a proper team. And I think from what I've read, I mean, I didn't go to the game, but it'd be great if anyone in the comments can sort of give their feedback if they were on the terrace there. But from what I've read about the game and the kind of the comments I was following on Twitter or X, it sounds like we gave a good showing of ourselves, and I think that there's genuinely a lot to be positive about. Certainly, Adigan's looking dangerous again from the comments I've seen. Mooney's looking good. There, Willoughby as well. I think there's a lot of people are singing his praises after the game. But I do take on board what you're saying. Like there is one goal in essentially three games, but I think the team is coming together. I'm still going to try and get to the Worcester game on Tuesday, and my hope is that we're going to see a more fluid performance of a team that's starting to gel. And fingers crossed, that's all we can hope for, really.
It'll be a
I think
great.
that's
Sorry, Neil, I was going to say it'd be a great surface on Tuesday night. I would have thought,
Oh
especially
yeah,
at
yeah,
Warriors.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, man, heck, it'd be
Mhm,
awesome. Sorry, Nick, carry on,
mhm.
mate.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say, I think the proof will kind of be, we've got a few games now after those initial three where you look at them and think they're kind of more accurate tests and levels of what we're maybe going to be having to get used to again in the National League North. Maybe Worcester aside, but um, certainly from the following game against Halesowen and then onwards towards the kick-off of the season. So I think, look, if we're in a similar position where we've maybe got one or two goals and results haven't gone favourably against those teams, then I think it may pose a question in terms of how ready will we be for the season. But then, and like I was saying to my friend earlier today at shop, it's pre-season is pre-season. We've had pre-seasons where we've pretty much been unbeaten and then been pretty dog awful.
Yeah.
And we've had pre-seasons the opposite way round, right? So I think ultimately it's about preparing for the season. Adam talks about being ready for all conditions, all different types of teams, which talks a great game in respect of that, and he knows what it takes to get out of this division. So hopefully, he talks about detail a lot, and everyone sort of describes Adam as a real detailed and thorough manager and prepared. We'll see in those first 10 games, I think, how prepared we are to go and attack the National League North this season, more than what we're going to face maybe next Tuesday and next Saturday against Halesowen.
From my understanding as well of the game yesterday, the first goal was a bit of a calamity, I think, involving our friend Dibbs,
So I've heard, yeah.
who he well and truly made up for it afterwards. The feedback coming through was he made some really good saves following that. They didn't score any more until we had the academy players on the pitch, and there was what 10 minutes to go, something. So the last 10 minutes, so we have held our own against an EFL League 2/1 side, and shown that we're capable. And I do wonder if the kind of yesterday was about looking at the defense and about, like it's a team performance, I get that, but how are we going to cope under pressure? Because that's going to come through the season. We're going to have teams that attack us. We're going to have teams that come out the blocks at us. And I do wonder if this was Adam looking at this and saying to himself, okay, how does the defense hold up? What do I need to do to plug gaps, etc., etc. So I think it's all positive, and I totally agree with Nick that at the end of the day, this is pre-season, and you can't judge the team on results. You can only judge the team on what they're doing in front of you. And if we're looking sharp and we're looking good, then I'm happy and I'm excited about that first game going into the new season.
So I also read Matt Murray switched the wing backs and he put Devine on the right wing back and he put Joe Folks on the left wing back. Now, I was chatting to Joe's dad in the arms, right? I was chatting to her and I said, but surely you can't. I said this is months ago, and I said surely you can't have a left-sided player playing right back. And he said, "Where's it's easy. They just do exactly the same things." And I was like, just laughing to myself, thinking, "Well, there, Joe's in there now. He's on the left. I hope he does really, really well." So yeah, but the problem. So you said that, Dan, but I think you'll find 75 to 80% of teams will come to Agbro looking for a draw. That's just what I'm feeling, Matt. What are your thoughts on that, please?
Yeah, all teams are set up in a certain way at home, aren't they? We're kind of used to that now. I think playing the wing backs in opposite sides, that's no different. But the wingers doing it now, like back in the 90s, you never saw Giggs on the right hand side, did you? He was always on the left. Or the players like that, never saw Beckham on the left. There's always traditionally that balance. My only criticism of Devine is that he doesn't seem to do anything with his right foot, really. So it'd have been interesting to see how he coped there. I can see why he's done it. But yeah, in terms of setup next season, I think we know what's coming. Part of the bus, time waste after a few minutes, frustrate. But we've got to be patient with that as a team. I think as fans as well, I think we know what's coming. So as long as we have that a bit of magic, which we could well have based on some of the sparks we've seen already, we could unlock a lot of teams nice and early. And I think that was the key for us a lot of the times last season. We were doing teams out early on and they had to come out and play. Persian game, we were ahead after, 30 seconds or something? Hemmings headed us in front. They had to come out and play. And there's a few other teams like that. So, be interesting, really interesting.
It's just when we get that first goal after like a minute or two, you just look at their bench and they're all like, "Ugh," because that's not the
game plans out of the window.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think with Devine and what we were talking about with the fullbacks, the wing backs playing on opposite sides, I actually think I'm not sure Devine's strength is actually defending, and I think there could be a potential option depending on how versatile Murray is with his thoughts and his tactics. But I did think this last season, and it never happened. But if we do get Owen Evans in, which hasn't happened this week, as far as I'm aware, so who knows what the latest with that is? But he looked a good option at Droitwich as well. He's not someone we've actually mentioned, but I thought he looked like your classic National League North kind of left back that comes to Agbro and you think, don't really like him. And we don't always have players like that. So that would be quite useful. And it could potentially open up an opportunity for Devine to do a bit of a Sam Austin in a way and maybe go sort of right wing forward, cutting in on his left, Joe Lolly-esque to shoot with his nice left foot.
Yeah.
I think Devine's limitation, I used to talk about Caleb, with his limitations going forward. I think if you could merge Caleb Richards and Reece Devine, you'd have a League One, high level League One left wing back. But I think Devine's real advantage is going forward. So it'd be interesting at times to see as his career develops whether he stays in that position or whether he maybe goes to a more attacking role where he can really try and do those one-on-ones and maybe get some more goal scoring opportunities just as a different option. Because he's got a bit of a wand of a left foot, hasn't he? As we've seen. And when you see him do the warm-up shooting, he's actually one of the best finishers. I know that's just warm-up and it's different to a match situation, but it does give you some kind of indication as to how good they are in terms of striking of the ball, the technique, and etc. And if you watch him in those last season, especially in those warm-up games, he looked very good at shooting. So I don't know, maybe one for the future, maybe not.
If I can jump in as well there was a gentleman on Facebook who was obviously at the game, Robert Fairbanks. Robert, if you're watching, hi, and just want to say that the the overview of the game you gave on Facebook was superb. And one of the key points he raised was about Joe Folks pressed high and turned their fullbacks a few times, which is the thing I love about Joe Folks is the fact he turns players around. So if he can still do that on the left as well as on the right, is this an option exactly like you said, Nick, where we can suddenly switch things around? Suddenly Reece is on the right, cutting in and causing problems with his left foot. I mean. I keep saying, I feel like a parrot. I constantly keep saying it, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what we come out with next season. I think there's a buzz. I think there's a buzz about the squad. I think there's a lot to be excited about. And I don't know, we're book his favourites. We book his favourites for a reason. So
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. Sorry, Wes, go on.
I was going to say, if you think about that feeling we had at Southport away last game of the season, and just like from up there to just on the floor, you never thought we would be in, and then Phil goes, you never thought we would be in a position like now we're actually excited and we think, we'll tear this season a new one or something like that. So it's amazing. Football is an amazing mistress, and you just forget that things can improve and things can get better, but being Harriers fans,
it's hope. It's hope. That's what football's all. That's what football's all about. We had hope going into that Southport game,
oh my God,
and now we have hope that this season is going to be something different to the last. That's what keeps us coming back. That's what keeps fans engaged. That's why it's the drug that it is. But you talk about Phil Brown there, whereas he was always someone that talked about balance, and you could see that certainly in the defensive structure. He liked to have. If you look at it, it's perfect balance, that back five, left-footed, left centre-back, left-footed, left wing-back, and obviously the right side being the right side. And Adams brought in the players to be able to create that balanced back five. So not sure whether yesterday would have been more of a understanding of what the players' potential is if they do need to be versatile. But I would be very surprised, unless he's going to go down a sort of non-league Pep Guardiola think outside the box scenario. I would be really surprised if we started games with Joe Folks at left wing back and Reece Devine at right wing backs. But if it happens this season, then I'm sure it'll be a talking point on one of these podcasts.
Matt, do you know the friendlies you've got left?
Yeah, we've got Worcester Tuesday.
Yep.
Hales Owen. Is it Solihull, the other one?
Yes.
Yeah. So Worcester will be interesting next week, I think, because they obviously have consecutive promotions now. A lot of lads there, local Worcester-based lads, that they'll want to prove a point. There's a couple there that would probably be okay at our level. Cole Belmonte being one of them, but they've got Nathan Haywood there as well, another ex-Harriers player. So I think it'd be a tough game on Tuesday. It'd be a good test. I think tackles will be flying in. There might be a bit of needle there, and that they'll want to get some bragging rights on us. So it'd be interesting on Tuesday.
Absolutely, Dan, you're going Tuesday, yeah?
I'm aiming to, yeah. Work is putting a little bit of a spanner in the works, but I'm hoping to be able to get around that and get myself up there. I see you shaking your head, Wes. I'm sorry. Have I let you down with that?
No, it's just work let me down for you, Dan. It's ridiculous. They should know. They should know, man. You're like doing the podcast now. You're a big thing, Dan.
I know, and I keep telling them that, but they're not having it yet. I don't know. When I start signing autographs, maybe then that'll be the difference.
Yeah. Start signing checks as well. That'd be cool.
We'll have to cancel your meet and greet, Dan.
Indeed, yeah.
Right.
Get
okay.
it on, Wes.
So I put someone on the hotline before I came on that our first game at home to Scarborough will be on DAZN, which is amazing for me because I can't make it because it's Molly's 5th birthday, so I can't get there, but I better see it. And enjoy that. So
I've got two questions there though. Firstly, is that actually how you pronounce it? I didn't realize that was the
DAZN, yeah.
It's DAZN or doesn't,
okay.
But DAZN sounds better than doesn't. So
Yeah, that's true. Secondly, though, it's a Saturday, 3:00 kickoff.
Yeah.
I know. But they've
has something changed in the law, or is it just that one game it's allowed? Or?
On the DAZN app, you could subscribe to watch a 3:00 kickoff anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, could you? I didn't think you could.
Yeah, so that's
just selected games, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Kings Link away game was on there last year, which is a bit of a. We won't go through that. But there was a couple on there. I think the Scunthorpe one was on there as well last year. The home one. So it's not unusual, but I know what you mean. It's not as if you'd see a Championship 3:00 kickoff on Sky. it'd be
Yeah,
It
moving.
kind
I
of
just I
it
didn't
doesn't bode well
realise.
though. The Marine game was also on DAZN last season, so I'm fairly
Yeah.
sure we lost every time we were on DAZN last season. Maybe I'm making that up,
Yeah,
but it sounds about right. So
Yeah.
hopefully that hoodoo has gone.
We beat
yeah.
Scunthorpe 1-0 and Phil got sent off randomly. Didn't do anything,
Yes,
just got sent
yeah,
Ah,
off.
yes,
That was
yeah.
a fun game,
that
wasn't
was a
it?
good
I was there.
Maz's cross.
Mm.
Yeah, oh, it's
Yeah,
cool.
that's right.
He meant that, obviously.
We'll
Yeah.
take it.
So we like to, because this podcast isn't what we want it to be. We're supposed to interview someone, a Harry's legend, but it didn't happen because there's something happening in the background. So we normally start off with the comments we've received, the nice comments or the provocative comments or whatever from the last video, which was episode 10. So we'll have a look through. We'll go through them now towards the end. So Mark Harriers, cheers, Mark. He says, great podcast, guys. Love that. Bewley Town. Love Bewley Town. I used to play for them. Great video, West. Close enough. Hopefully, we see some of the Kiddie fans down watching some of our games with manager Phil Mullen as our manager. Hopefully, we get a shout out in the next video. All the best. So, yeah, Beauty Town, I love it, man. I love the fact they're still playing the same place that I played at like 30 years ago.
On the Riverside.
Oh, man. I hit a ball
Yeah.
so hard there in defence. It went over the river onto the next field. It's amazing. Yeah, so that was all good. So what do you think about going to Bewley and maybe watching Phil's team? Any thoughts on that? Do they play
I
on a
used to go to
Sunday?
Beauty. Nah, Saturday. I used to go to Beauty quite a lot. I used to run a Sunday team. A our players used to play for them. So
Mm.
nice setup there. They've got that nice wooden stand there, little
Yeah.
clubhouse. I think they're in the Hellenic one now, so a league below what Droitwich are.
Mm.
But yeah, obviously filming there. I think Ocker Davis, is he still there? Darren Steadman was there at one point, and if he's still part of the setup. So there's a few ex-Harriers down there still knocking about.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
KHFC TV. Wow. Didn't know we had our own TV channel. There you go. Last home Boxing Day fixture was including the COVID seasons against Hereford in 2019. Man alive, that's 6 years ago. Every game since then has been at Edgar Street. That includes the one that was called off due to weather and played at the end of a January at a few weeks later. Apart from Boreham Wood in the National Prem, and that was Boxing Day too. Gary Martin. Oh, Gary says, loving the podcast. Thanks, Gary. Where's I'm with you on the badge? Thank you, Gary.
Yeah, that intrigues me, that comment, because if you look at the replies, I think he says that he sees me down the leisure centre and he's going to have a word with me about it.
Yeah.
But I don't know who it is. But yeah, I mean,
On a Sunday,
Gary, if you want to come and have a chat with me at the leisure centre on the Sunday. I was there today. No one came and spoke to me, but
they're
I'll
building up,
be keen
man.
to
They're
hear
building
it.
up to it.
I know.
I'd like to point out my badge is embroidered today, by the way. I've got the old Admiral kit on
That's
from
what it
years
should
ago.
be. Oh my God,
Yeah.
mine isn't. Oh, anyway, don't matter. Boxing Day off for me, says Pina Nolan. Can't stand Hereford's ground and the parking's crap as well. I've never been. I've driven past it a few times when I used to live in
Yeah.
Ludlow, but I've never been. I imagine.
There's loads of parking. There's loads of parking
Yeah,
there. But
yeah.
the ground is the away enclosure they stick you in it ain't great. You know, there's a pillar there. If you're not a man of height like myself, because the steps are probably like 2 inches
Nice.
in depth. If you're stood behind like someone your height, you can't see anything anyway. It ain't the best.
Don't
Not
stand
something
behind
I
Nick,
struggle with.
basically. Don't stand behind Nick. That's what
We've
we're
probably
saying.
actually got one of the shorter Harriers fans and the tallest Harriers fan on the podcast. There you go. That wasn't
Yeah,
my
man.
intention, Wes.
No,
I don't include you in that, obviously.
Thanks, pal. Jackie, this is the lady who watches us on YouTube. Thanks, Jackie. Top one again. By the way, did you see Jackie won the buy a
Yes,
shirt, get a free
Yeah,
shirt?
well
Jackie,
done,
Well done, Jackie.
Round of applause to Jackie, everyone. Well done, Jackie.
Don't give it to Wes under any circumstances because he hasn't got an embroidered badge. I don't
No,
feel like you need
exactly.
to sort of donate it to him. You wouldn't take it off your hands.
Jackie says, would love your thoughts. We've only got 5 minutes left. Would you have your thoughts about who you think the captain should be? Keep AMS or someone new? I'm saying Tunney. Anyone else? Quickly, just give
I
a name.
agree.
Seconded,
Tony.
thirded, fourth. Yeah,
I
it will be
floated the
Tony.
idea of Dibble.
Oh, Dan, goalies for you, mate. Honestly, it's ridiculous now. It's ridiculous. Got to be a goalie for Dan. I'm kidding. Jack Rose says Merthyr Town game being a Tuesday is because we are one. Oh, hang on a minute. Merthyr Town game being a Tuesday is because we are one of the closest games for them. Also, I'm going to that game because we had friends here and he lives 30 minutes away from that game. So I'm just going to stay with him. So that'd be fun. Yeah, but anyway, there you go. Darren Rogers says, it's Bo's shirt I've got, not his shorts. Dan, Chamber, you said, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bo's hat
Apologies.
trick was Exeter away, a night match. I was the kit man the Football League days. There you go.
Fantastic.
There
Brilliant.
you
Well done,
go.
Darren. Darren, I think you were done by a typo there, mate. I think that was also correct that did you bad there.
Dan, sorry, why aren't you wearing your green top, mate?
Honestly, I've just
Yeah.
played football and it
I'm gonna say
stinks.
you played in it, yeah?
Yeah,
Absolutely fine. Don't worry about that. No problems at
yeah.
all.
I gotta
Right,
say the black's looking good, Nick.
Pardon?
The black kit looks really good. I can see it's not just black, is it? There's like sort of purple in there and
There's
no.
that could be my lighting, if I'm honest. But
okay.
yeah, I think it's like black and kind of grey. Just really quickly on Dibble, you mentioned around a potential error early doors yesterday. Probably something we don't think of, but Dibble's actually having to get used to a fairly newish back five,
Very true.
Yeah.
which isn't something that you maybe think about unless you've maybe been a keeper previously. But he's had a fairly settled back five, albeit maybe one player in, one player out.
Yeah.
I guess this has been the first time for him that it will probably feel slightly different in terms of he's got, well, three brand new centre backs pretty much, unless Candela plays. So that's maybe something that could catch us out early doors. Maybe that's what we're going through. I don't think he didn't play the Droitwich game, did he? So it could just be a case of getting himself used to that new defensive structure.
It's a valid point. And I think the people watching this should also know that Nick is actually a keeper as well. So I'm not the only one flying the goalkeeper flag for the podcast.
I would use the term keeper very, very loosely. I haven't played for about 20 years in goal, but I've donned the gloves again now on a
Part of the
Sunday
union,
morning.
mate.
So Martin can come and see me in goal on a Sunday
I
morning
think
and
I
tell me
played in
about
goal
shirts.
once when I was like 12. Does that count? Dan, I'm a part of your team, part of your crew. I don't know.
Yeah,
Don't think
no.
so, Wes. No.
Oh, okay. I was going to give
Once,
you
no.
union rights there, but
No,
Thanks,
one
pal.
of those keepers that doesn't use their hands just tries to kick it away.
Yeah. And head
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
I know the ones.
Yeah. Okay. Look, we got 2 minutes left. Matt, any other business, mate? 30 seconds. Have you got any 30 seconds of business or not?
No, not from me tonight. Thank you.
Dan, any other business at all? 30 seconds. Can you do it in
no.
30 seconds?
Other than there's been some great interviews with Adam Murray this week, which I've really enjoyed. So I like hearing from the boss. I think he's got good ideas. He speaks well, and yeah, good guy. Looking forward.
Are you over the tent thing now, Dan? Because you had a right proper
I mean,
Mardy on about the tent.
Every now and again, Facebook keeps throwing it back in my face.
Yeah.
So I sort of feel like the wounds are healing, but they're still open and sore at the moment.
Nick, any other business, my friend?
Nothing for me. Just thanks for everyone that tunes in to watch. I had someone come up to me the other week and say they were really enjoying it. So that was a real nice touchdown at Wolverley Swans. So big up the Harriers fans. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Nick, for that. Guys, listen, if you're watching, you're expecting a big interview. We were also expecting a big interview as well. And honestly, on my head is just a shed now. But hopefully we'll get him on next week, fingers crossed. Also spoke to the Harriers and fingers crossed we'll get one of the players on and Adam at some point as well. But it'll play in a waiting game. That's what you're doing, playing a waiting game. So there you go. Hopefully we'll get someone on. We'll have a chat with them, and that'll be really fun. How many weeks are we away now from the start of the season? What is it, 20th today? 11, 20 days.
3 weeks, is it?
20
Yeah,
days?
3 weeks. Yeah.
It's flying round.
It'll get there soon enough. So make sure you get yourself in the club shop and demand a badge on any of those shirts that you. Matt, you know the guy from Shivata or whatever it's called. You just get him on. He can explain why there's no badge, buddy. Get him on.
We know why.
Well, I'm with you on the badge, Wes, if I'm honest.
Thank
I
you.
do prefer the embroidered one, but
Thank
let's
you.
hopefully this will survive a few washes. It definitely ain't going to the tumble dryer anyway.
There'll be like that one behind
Don't
me.
tumble dry it.
That one, when I started getting it signed, never went in the wash again. Never proper
No,
stink.
rightly so.
That's fine. That's fine. Listen, guys, like I said, thank you so much. If you can subscribe, that's amazing. We're trying to get 1,000 subscribers if we can. If you subscribe, if you share, if you comment, if you like, we love, like Nick said, we love your comments. We love laughing and interacting with you guys as well. And we're all doing it for the same cause, right? To get out of this Tin Pot League. So there we go. Right. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Matt, and thank you, Dan.
Cheers,
you guys
guys.
are great. Have a great week. We'll speak to you next Sunday. Thank you.